Okay, Aisha123's question number 2. My other question is, why are there so many people saying things about how they lost their teeth or that they or their teeth deteriorated so much after being vegan? I'm not saying it's true, but it scares me. Almost every vegan YouTuber has said after 3 or 5 years that they were getting sick. I'm not at all trying to be against veganism, but to be honest, my digestion is better when I don't eat animal products. But I'm scared of this diet not being actually good. Why are there all these people saying that they felt deteriorated and weak with it? There are even people saying vegans look at least 10 years older due to lack of collagen. Is there any explanation for this? Thanks. Okay, great question. If you watch till the end of this video, I'll share with you some tips from your last question, your first question, which was how to maintain weight. So I'll actually share with you some foods that you can eat to maintain a certain body weight. So watch till the end. Okay, now the reason why I share these ideas and these concepts with you is to give you some insight into how I strive to live a natural life in an unnatural world. And I've had a fair amount of success with it, so I'm sharing this because people have asked over the years. So I can say something about the teeth. When I first became vegan, like a lot of people, the concept in my mind was to cut out meat. And in my mind, because I didn't have an awareness of tofu or seitan or gluten or other meat substitutes, essentially in my mind, I had it that being vegetarian was simply continuing to eat the way I ate, but simply removing the meat. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people simply, if they're eating rice and iceberg lettuce and a piece of meat, then to become vegetarian, all they do is simply remove the meat. And let me be clear, there is benefit that you get from meat and animal products. You can get the B vitamins, you can get zinc, you can get iron, B12. So there is benefit to eating that certain vitamins that are beneficial. In my estimation, however, the negatives, the steroids, the antibiotics, the pus, everything else, the bacteria, the parasites, that outweighs the positives. So if you're cutting meat out, you are definitely cutting out certain nutrients out of your system. But it all depends in context. So if you're cutting those things out, then it's going to be vital that you put those back in. Now, even if you are not vegetarian or vegan, there is still benefit for you eating healthy. So the reason why I think some people have issues is because they are simply removing the meat from their diet, but they're not doing anything to replace the vitamins and minerals that they're losing. They're not supplementing. And so they're actually in a worse off state, even though they're eating less meat, they're not getting vitamins. That's why I'm a proponent of supplementation for a couple of reasons. As I said, even if you're not vegetarian, you are still consuming fruits and vegetables that are woefully inadequate, that are grown in poor soil, that have nowhere near the 70 to 100 minerals that should be in the soil. So even if you're not vegetarian, you may still want to supplement with mineral supplements, with potassium, with magnesium, so that you can get into your body nutrients that in a modern society are simply not there. So those people who are cutting meat out but not replacing it with something with supplements or a diet that is organic and richer in nutrients are going to experience decreased function, decreased metabolism, and that's why after a couple of years they may simply lose interest or lose motivation because they're not eating well. So the focus should be not simply on removing meat, but the focus should be on eating healthy. So in my definition of eating healthy, for me, there's no chicken, no fish, no beef, no eggs, no pork, nothing in cans, nothing prepared. no steroids, no antibiotics, no food coloring, no flavoring, um, nothing in plastic. So, and I supplement. So for me, it's about eating healthy, not just simply removing meat. So that may answer one aspect that why a lot of people are feeling undernourished is because they actually are, not because of a healthy diet is necessarily inferior, but because they are not doing things to compensate for the fact that the foods that are grown on factory farms and that the majority of people are eating, especially in Western countries, are nowhere near as nutritious as they should be. So once they cut out the meat and some of the iron and the zinc and the B vitamins, they're naturally going to feel weaker. Your other question about the teeth. One of the things that I found from personal experience is that when I started a vegetarian diet, I, as a result, started eating more fruits and more vegetables. More fruits, that's going to mean more fruit sugars. That's going to mean more citric acid, which has a corrosive effect on the teeth. So after a couple of months, after a couple of years, I realized that my teeth weren't as strong as before. So what I do these days, and the other reason is that you're also probably going to be eating softer food. So you're not going to have the chicken bones or the pork bones to crunch on and keep your teeth strong. So it's very important, and I'll advise people on this. If you are going to start a vegetarian and vegan diet at an early point in life, make sure that you floss regularly. Make sure that you get a water pick, water irrigator to clean out the spaces in between your teeth. Make sure you focus on getting calcium to restore bone strength and bone density. So those are my answers to those 2 points that you brought up. One, the teeth issue is something that you should be aware of because your diet is going to change. And then the reason that people are weaker is simply because they are not doing it right. They're focusing on simply removing the meat rather than eating healthy. So I hope that's helpful. And a good friend of mine, as I promised, saw your first question and provided me with a link to something that you might find helpful. So let's see if we can do it here. So do a search online for vegan. Let's see if I can find this here. Do a search for calories and vegetable calorie chart, and you might see something like this that shows some of the foods that you can eat. On the left side, you'll see that you have simple foods like iceberg lettuce and cucumbers, which have low caloric content, and then all the way on the other side, you have pecans, Brazil nuts, pine nuts, hazelnuts, flax seeds that have a higher caloric content. So if you eat foods that are more to the right side of this chart, you'll be doing more to increase your fat content. Now, it's not something that I can advise you on, but it's just something to be aware of, that certain foods, if you are going to go vegetarian and you're going to be eating a lot of celery and zucchini and cucumber, then you're naturally not going to get as many calories as if you were eating more nuts. So I'll provide a link in the description so you can find the chart for yourself, but that'll be a good way for you to maintain what you might consider a healthy weight and healthy size, even on a vegetarian/vegan diet. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.